We are going to start by importing the form that we are going to be using. In this case, I want to be using the Poppins form. This is a font that we have been using on previous lessons, so I'm just going to copy and paste the import. As you know, I always upload all these repos on GitHub, so you can check the link on the description of this video. Then let's go proceed to give some styles to the body tag. So we are going to set a margin of 0. Then I want to have a padding of 0.2. We are doing some resets here. Then I want to set the font family to the one that we just imported, that is Poppins. So let's put here Poppins. And in the case that we don't have Poppins, we are going to be falling back to sans serif. Good. So we see, the font family got changed. Then for the background, we are going to be using a linear gradient that I have here that is kind of a black. So this should be more comfortable for the view. You see, nice. Then for the color of the font, we are going to be changing to white. So let's put here color number FFF. Then I want a min height to be 100 viewport height. And then I want text align to be on the center. Excellent. Then I'm going to give some styles for the header. So for the header here, I want to have a background. The background is going to be an RGBA, and it's 255, 255, and then 0.05. After here, we want to set a padding of 1 rem. Then we want to use the Flexbox, so let's put here display flex. And justify content, we want some space between, so let's use space between. So in this way, we get a space between the title that we have here and the links. And then I want also align item center to be centered vertically. So let's put here center vertically, and as you see, they are centered on the y-axis too. So now I want to give some styles for the A tag. So let's put here header nav A tag. And here I want to set a color that is going to be number FF4757, which is a red color. Then I want a margin left to be 1 rem. Good. Then I want some text decoration of none to get rid of the underline. After this, I want to have a font weight of bold. So let's put here bold. Excellent. After this, I want to give some styles for the active class that is inside of the links. So let's put here header nav A, and the A tag that is active. I want to give some other styles. So let's put here text decoration underline. And what this means is that if we are on the home page, in this case index.html, the A tag that has the active class is the one that is going to be underlined, and in this case it's the home. Okay, so after this we want to give some styles for the search box. So let's put here the class of search hyphen box, and here for the search box I want a margin. I want a margin to be 2 rem and then 0. I want a display flex because I want to use containers too. Display flex. I want a justified content to be center, and a gap because we want some space of 10 pixels between the button and the input field. Good. And then for the input, I want to set a padding of 10 pixels. Then I want a width to be 250 pixels. I want to get rid of the border, so let's put border none. I want border radius to be 8 pixels for the corners, and I want a font size to be 1 rem. Good. So after this, I'm going to give some styles for the button tag. So for the button, I want a padding to be 10 pixels on top and bottom, and then 15 pixels of left and right. I want a background. The background is going to be the same as the colors that we are using for the link. So I'm just going to copy this one here that we have at the top. Good. Then I want a color to be FFF for the white. I want to get rid of the borders. Good. Then I want to have a border radius of 8 pixels too, as we use on the input. Also, let's put a cursor pointer. We want some font weight to be bold. So let's put here bold. And we want transition for all to be 0.3 seconds with ease. Good. So now for the button on hover state, I want to change the background a little bit. So let's put background here, and the new color is going to be number EA4 and then 118. So if I hover over the buttons right now, you see that the colors turns to be as a little bit darker, but it's not that much. Good. So now I want to give some styles for the movie container. So let's put here movie-container class, and here I want to display grid, which is another way of I would say accommodating the elements on the UI. This is quite like a similar to Flexbox, but it works in tables in this case. So here we are going to use grid template columns, and then we are going to see that we want to repeat it, and we want them to have an out of fit. That this means that it's going to take the available space. So this works for any kind of resolution if we are on desktop or mobile resolution, and that's why we are going to be using this. And then I want some min-max here. That is a calculation that we are going to do, and we want to have a 220 pixels, and I want one frame. So this means that it's going to each fraction is going to have a width of 220 pixels. Okay, and then I want a gap between all the elements of 1.5 rem. So let's put here 1.5 rem and a padding of 1 rem. Of course, you won't be able to see these classes by this time because we haven't reached out yet to the part of JavaScript where we are going to be consuming a free movie API where we can get the matches when we look for a specific movie. After this, we are going to give some classes for the movie car. That it will be the car that will be displaying every movie. So let's put here a background. And it's going to be an RGBA. To speed up the lesson, I'm just going to copy and paste because we have been using this kind of colors before. Then I want also a border radius to be 8 pixels. Oh, well, in this case, let's give some 10 more to have more rounded. Then I want some padding to be 1 rem. I want a transition to be for the transform. I want it to be 0.3 seconds. And I want also a cursor pointer. Good. So for the movie car on hover, we are going to be escalating its size. So in this way, when you hover at the top of the car, you will see that it will be getting bigger a little bit. So here, let's put transform, and then we are going to scale, and we want to scale 1.05. And since we have the transition on transfer, this will be having a smooth transition. Okay, so now I want for the movie car, and inside of the IMG, the image, I want the width to be 100%. So this will be taking all the space of its parent element. and then I want a border radius to be 10 pixels. Good. So now we are going to make some styles for the pagination. So let's put here pagination, and here for the pagination I want to have a display of flex. Then I want a justified content to be center. Later I want an align items to be on the center too. I want a gap to be 1 rem for the space, and I want a margin to be 2 rem top and bottom, and then 0 on left and right. Okay, nice. So now we are going to give some styles for the scroll to top button, which is this one here. So let's put here, since it is an ID, let's put here scrollTopBtn. Yeah, I get confused because I thought that I said scroll to top, but it's scrollTopBtn. Yeah, let's just verify here that we have it, and yeah, it's scrollTopBtn. Good. So here, let's put a position that is going to be fixed. Then we want this the position to be modified, so we are going to be putting a bottom of 25 pixels. Then we want a right to be 25 pixels, so this will be located on the in this case the bottom right, as you see here. Then we are going to be setting a background that is going to be number 007BFF, which is for a blue. Nice. Then for the color we want to be white, so let's put here FFF. After this we want to get rid of the border, so let's put border none. Then I want some padding. On the top is going to be 0.8 rem, and then for the left and right is going to be 1 rem. I want also to have some border radius. The border radius is going to be 50 pixels, so it's going to be in this way we turn to be into a circle, as you see here. Good. After this I want a font size to be 1.2 rem to get a little bit bigger. We want cursor pointer. We want display none on its initial, because we are going to be manipulating this throughout JavaScript. But yeah, let me just comment so in this way you can see all the styles, because we are missing to give an styles for box shadow. I'm just going to copy the parameters that I have here, and then after this we want to set a transition, and I want a transition for the background, and I want it to be 0.3 seconds with ease. So now that we got all the styles, I'm just going to uncomment this, because we are going to be manipulating this throughout JavaScript. So now I want the scrollTopBtn on hover state, so let me just copy there, and I want to do something on hover state, and on hover I want to change the background, so let's put here the background, and it's going to be number 0056B3. Good. So now we are going to give some styles for the modal that is going to be displaying the details of the movies that we select. So let's put here the modal class, and we want to have initially a display of none, because this will be also manipulating throughout JavaScript. We want a position to be fixed. Then we want a C index to be putting the element at the top of all the elements that we have in the back. Then I want a top to be 0. I want a left to be 0.2. Then I want a width to be 100%. I also want a height to be taken 100%. After this I want a background that is going to be an RGBA, so I'm just going to copy and paste. It's an RGBA here. After this we want justified content to be on the center. And we want also align items to be on the center too. Excellent. After this, we want to set some styles for the modal content. So let's put here modal content. And for the modal content here, we want to have a background that is going to be number 1A1C27, which is for a black. Then we have a padding here that is 1.5 rem. I want to have a border radius to be 12 pixels. After this, we want to have a width of 90%. Then I want to have a max width to be 800 pixels. I want a position to be relative, and I want to have some animation that says fade in, 0.0 seconds with ease. And now we are going to be creating that animation. This animation is for opening the model. So here, yeah, let me just create the animation. The way that we do it is that we create it by using a reserved word that is called add keyframes. And then the identifier in this case is going to be the fade in because it's the name of the animation that we decided. So let's put here fade in, and then we are going to set a starting point from, and then we want also to. So from, we want to have an opacity of 0, and then here I want to transform, and I want to scale to 0.95. Then for the 2, this would be the end. We want to have an opacity of 1, so that means that we will be transitioning from 0 to 1, and then on the transform, the scale is going to be equal to 1. So let's put here scale and 1. So we will be transitioning from 0.95 to 1, and this will be happening on 0.4 seconds with ease. Good. So now we want to set the styles for the modal content. So let's put here the class of modal inner. Inside of here, we want to have a display of flex. Then we want a flex grab to be grabbed. This means that it will be taking the available space. This is very handy when we are handling different resolutions for the screen. We want a gap to be 1.5 rem. Then for the we want to set some styles for the image that is inside of the modal left. So let's put here modal left, and then the image. We want the image to be with a border radius of 10 pixels. Then I want a width to be 250 pixels. This is the maximum that is going to be taking the image. And then I want an object fit to be covered. So this allows that the image is not going to be duplicated a lot of times. Then we want some styles for the modal right class. So let's put here modal -right. And we want flex to be 1. We want an overflow on the y-axis to be auto. And then I want a max height. Let's put here max height to be 400 pixels. Excellent. So now I want to set some styles for the close modal button that we are not able to see right now because it's on black. So let's put here number because we are referencing an ID, close modal on camel case. And here I want to have a position of absolute, then a top to be 10 pixels. I want a right to be 20 pixels. Excellent. Then I want then to have a font size that is going to be 24 pixels. After this, I want to have a cursor of pointer, and the color is going to be referencing the red that we have been using before. So Let me just scroll to the top and copy the FF4757 because it's the same red that we are going to be using. Okay, nice. So after this, we are going to give some styles for the H2 heading on the modal right. So let's put here modal right and then H2. For the H2, I want a margin top to be 0. And then I want a color that is going to be number FFCC00, which is an orange color. And then I want to set some styles for the p tag inside of the modal right class. So modal right and then p tag. I want to have a margin to be 8 pixels top and bottom, and then 0 on left and right. And I want a line height to be 1.4. This is for letter separation. Then I want to give some styles for the buttons that are inside of the modal right. So let's put here modal right and then button. For this button, I want to have a background of the same color. This one here, the red. Then I want a border to be none. Let's put a padding that is going to be 8 pixels top and bottom, and then 15 pixels left and right. I want a border radius to be 8 pixels, then a cursor that is going to be pointer, margin top that is going to be 1 rem. Excellent. And for the last, let's put here for the modal right, and I want to set some style for the button on hover status. So let's put here button hover, and I want to set the background to the same that we use on the other hovers for these buttons here. So I'm just going to look for those classes. So you see, yeah, it will be this one here. So let me just copy and paste. Good. Yeah, we are good to go for the styles.css associated to the index.html. Now we are going to go to the favorites.css. So now let me just close this. Again, let's put here, right click on favorites.html, open with live server. Good. And now let's go to the favorites.css file. We are going to also import the Poppins that we did on index on styles.css, because we are going to be using it on the body. So here on the body, we are going to set a font family of same Poppins. And then if we don't have Poppins, we are going to fall back to sans serif. Then for the background, it's going to be the same. The body in this one is going to look like the same as the one that we use in styles.css. So I'm just going to copy and paste. Okay. Then for the header here, we are going to be using a text align center. Then we want to have a background color to be number 222. Okay, then we want to have a color of white, number FFF. After this, I want a padding to be 1 rem, top and bottom, 0, left and right. And then I want a box shadow. I'm just going to copy and paste the box shadow that I have here. Excellent. After this, I want to give some styles for the H1 inside of the header. So let's put here header H1. And we are going to set a margin to be 0. And then I want a font size to be 1.8 rem. Good. So then I want some styles for the A tag inside of the header. And here I want a color to be number 007BFF. Then text decoration of none. I want a font weight to be 500. I want a margin left to be 10 pixels, and I want a transition to be for the color of 0.3 seconds. Then for the header and the A tag on hover status, I want to do something else. So here I'm going to set a color different that is going to be number 6688FF. Excellent. So yeah, here let's put here then for the favorites container on camel cake class, favorites container, we are going to set also display grid. We are going to be setting the display grid that we use on the styles.css, so I'm just going to copy and paste because this is for giving the same format that we had before. Yeah, after this we are going to give some styles for the movie car, so let's put here the class of movie car, and we want a background to be white, so let's put here background and then number FFF. After this I want a border radius to be 10 pixels. Then I want a box shadow. The box shadow is going to be this one here that we have. After this I want to have an overflow hidden, so this means that we are not going to see any elements outside of this of the movie car container. If something goes outside of the movie container, you won't be able to see because we are using the overflow hidden. And then I want here a transition that is going to be for transform with 0.25 seconds on ease, and also I want it for the box shadow with 0.25 seconds with ease too. Okay, nice. We want cursor to be pointer, position of relative. Excellent. So after this I want for the movie car on hover status to do something else. Once we have the cursor of hover, in this case in top of the movie car class, we want to set a transform, and we want to scale to 1.05, and also I want to have a box shadow that is going to be this one here. Excellent. Then I want to set an styles for the image inside of the movie car. So here the image, we are going to set a width of 100% to take all the space from the parent element. Then I want a height to be 320 pixels. After this I want an object fit to be covered. Good. And then I want a border bottom to be 1 pixel solid, and the color is going to be EEE. Excellent. Good. After this I want to give some styles for the H2 inside of the movie car, so let's put here movie car H2, and I want a font size to be 1 rem, then a margin to be 0.5 rem, and I want a color to be number 333, which is for a black color, black grayish. Then for the movie car I want for the P tag to have also some style, so let's put here the color of the font is going to be number 666. Then I want a margin to be 0.5 rem and 1 rem. Excellent. So now I want to give some style for a class that is going to be remove BTN, and this will be for removing the movies from the favorites page. So let's put here remove BTN. These are classes that we are going to be using on the JavaScript section. So let's put here position is going to be relative, then a top of 8 pixels, then a right to be 8 pixels as well. I want a background to be number FF3B3B, which is a red 2, color to be FFF for white. We want to have a border of none for the button, then a border radius to be 50% to have a circle. Then I want a width to have 28 pixels. I want also the height to be the same, 28 pixels. We want to have a cursor pointer, a font weight to be bold. Good. And we have to have some transition. That transition is going to be for the background of 0.3 seconds. Good. So now I want to have some change in the styles for the remove button on hover status. So let's put here hover. And here on the hover, and I want to change the background. It's going to be number CC and then 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. So after this, I want to give some styles for the empty message. This is a class that we are going to be using when we don't have any movies added on the favorites page. So let's put here text align center. Then I want a color to be number 555. After this, I want a font size to be 1.1 rem and padding to be 2 rem. Excellent. So after this, I want to have a go back button, which is this one here. So let's put here go back class, and I wanted to have a display of blog. Then I want a margin to be 2 rem and auto on top and bottom. Top and bottom is going to be 2 rem, and left and right is going to be auto. Then I want a padding to be 0.0 rem top and bottom, and then 1.5 rem left and right. A font size to be 1 rem. Excellent. Then I want a background color to be number 007BFFWF. I want a color to be white, so let's put here number FFF. After this, let's put a border to be none. Let's put a border radius to be 8 pixels. Let's put a cursor pointer, and I want to have a transition. The transition is going to be for the background color, and we wanted to have 0.3 seconds with this. Good. And I also want to have some styles for the go back on hover status. So let's put here go back and then hover status. I wanted to have a background color of number 0056B3. Excellent. So as you see now, if we hover on the button of back to search, which is the go back class, it changes a little bit to be a blue darker when we hover into it. Okay, so this finished the CSS part of both pages, in this case index.html and favorites.html. So now we are going to proceed to give all the events interaction and reactivity that we need to give some logic to all these movie search app on the JavaScript files.